I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school in 2008. I did 2 deployments to Afghanistan, and one of those deployments was it's called an embedded training team, and we were embedded with the Afghan Army, and our goal was to build up their security forces, do partnered missions with them, and focus on turning over the security of the country to them at some point. And after my second deployment, I came home and got out of the military and got out without a purpose, got out without a plan. So I just kind of bounced around a little bit. At the same time, drinking heavily, getting more and more out of control. And that just progressed into drug use, such as pain pills, methamphetamine, and heroin. I've been to 7 different county jails and 2 different state prisons. I probably spent total of 2.5 years incarcerated. I couldn't commit suicide myself, but I was angry with God. I felt that if He had known this was going to be my life after the military, then why not just let me be killed in Afghanistan? And to me, that was a more honorable death. And here I am now, a strung out heroin addict. And I've pushed everybody that I love away. So at that point, I really didn't care how my life turned out. I really didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't want to live, but I just couldn't find the courage to do it myself. So I was hoping that somebody else would do it, heroin would do it, or something would just take it all away. When I got out of jail, I was just released out to probation, and there was no talk of harm reduction or anything like that. It wasn't until I was in an VA IOP program, a 21-day inpatient, and I started hearing those words of harm reduction and not to use alone and things like that to prevent overdoses. It was at the beginning of what would have been my second 120. I gave my life to Christ, and the judge that sentenced me to that 120 had told me that if I was accepted into Veterans Treatment Court, that he would recall me and not make me do the 120. I ended up getting accepted, and he terminated my prison sentence, and they released me the next day, and I started Veterans Treatment Court. Veterans Treatment Court is just like drug court, but it's only for veterans. So when you show up to it, you no longer go to any other courts or anything like that. You're just you're in treatment court, and you're surrounded by other veterans, but you're surrounded by a treatment team. And so you have care providers that you meet with weekly, and you have urinalysis that you take at random, sometimes 5 a week. And it just, as you progress through the program, it tapers down through all your treatment stuff until at the end, then you're just kind of waiting to be out of court, and then you get to put it all into real life on your own. You have other veterans that hold you accountable for your choices. Your whole court is in front of all the other veterans. So if you show up to court that month and you've had some stuff that you shouldn't have been doing, it's all going to get brought up in front of the other veterans. And I think that's a big part, because you're going to have veterans at the end of it come say what's going on, and hold you accountable for your actions. And so that is a huge part of the program. But as you go through the program and as you go through treatment court, you build a support group of your treatment team, you build a support group of the veterans in the program, you and they encourage you to be involved in activities outside the court. So you're involved with other programs that you are, other people who are going through recovery, so you build a support. So each month that you're sober, you're continuing to build support, and you are that person to somebody else too. So you almost feel a sense of duty to not fail who else is counting on you to be their support system. I have a veterans group that is from everybody in it's all from Veterans Court, and it's just a group where even the ones who have graduated, we still get together and eat and do things together. And there's people that are in court, they come to it also, and so they get to see that there's a end to the court, you know, but that doesn't mean there's an end to the veteran community. Most veterans, they thrive with that veteran structure, with that military structure. And so if we can just get it to that point where we are the buddy system, accountability, structure in what we do as far as recovery, then I think recovery becomes a lot more successful for veterans. And so when we are in a group community, we can, you know, like I said, build off of each other and learn from each other and support each other. Most police officers have Narcan in their car, and there's a lot of people alive today because officers were the first ones to respond, and they administered Narcan. So I think that even as much as we don't like the use of drugs, we should still continue to try to help that person that may be struggling through addiction. And if that means Narcan to save their life, they may go on to do something, you know, that could save other people's lives. Dead people can't recover. I'm here today because someone took the time to talk to me about harm reduction. Someone thought it was a good idea for law enforcement to have Narcan, and because of that Narcan, it saved my life. And because of God's grace, I'm saved from that lifestyle.